All right. Hello, everyone. Good to see you. Paul Tranny here. Going to dive into today's internet inspired. Hello. So, welcome, everybody. Good to have you here. My name is Paul Tranny. I'm going to dive into today's internet inspired, where we take a fun, creative spin on what's happening on the interwebs. So, this is going to be good. Let me go ahead and share with you our fun tweet that we have right here. And it's really a theme that you've seen around plenty. But this is what it is. She's a 10 but laughs in serious situations. Or he's a 10 but I don't know, doesn't know the difference between there, and there. You know, the different spellings. Something like that. So I thought we'd do a designer spin on this. So creative spin on this. She's a 10, he's a 10. Feel free to just Google that on Twitter or wherever. But this one, of course, is from Huli. That's her. Yeah. That is her Twitter. So that's the plan. She's a 10, he's a 10. Hey, let's just have some fun. Let's jump into Illustrator. And thank you so much for joining me today. Hello, Susanna, Stony, Popola, David, what's up? Mohan, hello, hello, hello. Good to have you here. She's a 10, he's a 10. But now we're going to do our designer spin on this. So one of them might be, and maybe we'll go ahead and we'll just duplicate these artboards, by the way. So we'll just grab this. We'll make sure this is turned on right up here at the top. We'll turn this on. That's going to duplicate all the contents of my artboard. And then I could just do a copy and a paste. And now we have our two artboards. If you hold down Option Command 0, it will show both right in this area. So we can have like, she's a 10, he's a 10. We could have just, we're going to make a lot of these, so we're going to have a lot of fun. All right. Hello. Let me know. Hello, Joa from Venezuela. Good to have you here. Awesome. Michelle, hopefully audio and video is coming in good. You might have said that earlier. But yes, so thankful you guys are here and hanging out with me today. So here's sort of our two. And anyways, we're just going to have some fun with this. Let's actually let's lock down these background layers for one. So one I tweeted out the other day was like, she's a 10, but, doesn't name her layers. So that's an easy one, right? Thank you so much for Michelle for that. So that's kind of cute, right? We could do a fun little poster with that. She's a 10 but doesn't name her layers. I think what would be cool is, let's just do a new file. Let's do this. You guys ready for this? We'll just use a new file so we have a lot of control over it. For this new file, and maybe we could use this current one, but let's actually use this layers panel. So right, here we go. This is what we'll do. Sure enough, she's a 10 but... let's type this in. Add a layer. Doesn't. Bring that down. Name. Her. Oh, get out of there. Boom. Layers. Of course, these are named, so maybe this doesn't make sense, does it? Thank you so much. Like my shirt, appreciate it. Hello, Pablo from LA. Awesome. Ricardo from Mars. So does this make sense? Is this good? Something like this? So this is why I kind of wanted to clean this up. Maybe I'll actually get rid of these other parts. Let's cut this. Let's just get rid of this piece. I'm just going to play. This is just going to be our first one in our own file. And on this next layer, we'll paste this in. Copy. We just need to have contents right in here on these other layers. Paste. Just adding some content. Paste. For that last one, let's change that as well. There we go. So I think this is more interesting, by the way. Let's turn that stuff off as well. There we go. Something like that. You guys into this? I don't know. What do you guys think? So this is the poster that I'm making. Thank you. That makes sense. So we'll add more right in here because we have to have some unnamed layers, right? Is the idea. Dot, dot, dot. We're doing it. We're just being creative with this wonderful theme. Again, I do this every Wednesday. Had to double check that it was actually Wednesday. There we go. Maybe this should be all caps. I don't know. Totally open. I really want them to stand out. So we'll try it both ways. We'll take this. We will, on a Mac, Shift Command 4, right? And then hold down the space bar and you could just click. Bam. We've captured that. We'll drop it in here. Bam, there it is. Here's our graphic, at least for this first poster. So hopefully that makes sense for all of you who are just kind of wondering what I'm doing. I'm going off this she's a 10, he's a 10, you know, but laughs at her own jokes sort of thing, right? So whatever you think is like, oh, this person's awesome, but they have this really weird trait, we're doing the designer version of that. All right, so there's that one. Let's actually maybe change this. Let's save this file for one. She or he, whatever. Save it on my computer. We'll just call this 10. There we go. Save in our file. There we go. And let's just try this in all caps too. She's 10, but boom. There we go. I kind of like this one. So yeah, we'll screen cap that as well. Drop it in here. And now we have two versions that I can work with, which is super fun. So hopefully you're into that. I did do it very fast, didn't I? How did you copy the layer panel? I didn't really copy it. I did a screenshot of just this layers panel, by the way. I just did a screenshot of it. Now, that's why it looks like there's multiples out here, but these are just graphics, okay? But now we have these two. I'll kick these out. These might be what I post on social media. I think it's kind of fun, right? Overall, it even captures the drop shadow. But let's do a different one. That's why I saved this as 10.1, so we could do different versions as well. Yeah, nice screen tip trick. Again, this is on Mac, Shift Command 3, and then this Shift Command 4, sorry, and now you can highlight different panels. Shift Command 4, you're doing a screenshot, but that allows you to isolate one panel that might be floating. Yeah, so you can see that as a screenshot. We can always take that, we can vectorize it, do all sorts of things, by the way. So if you did ever want to vectorize this, first thing I'd want to do is I'd want to crop it. So if we did want a clean version, let's go down here, let's duplicate it. And really I want to create more of these because I want you guys to give me some of these, you know, she's a 10 or he's a 10, by the way. But right in here, we'll do a crop image. So we need to crop out the gradient. That gradient drop shadow is the first thing I do because we want to isolate this just to a certain number of colors, right? So, and again, this is just if we wanted to vectorize it. We cropped it. Now we could do, say, an image trace. You could click that automatically. You could see what you get, right? You might not like that. Go to this little button right here. You see that? Zoop. Image trace panel. Open up that panel because what was happening? It was on tracing result and the mode was black and white. No, I don't want that. I want color, right? And that's what I'll do. I'll go to color. I'll typically tighten this up so you could sort of give it more paths if you want to. We could also replace that text as well, give it more corners. But you can see there's about 30 colors in there. I'd probably just clean that up even more, but it all just kind of depends on your, let's go to automatic. Let's see what happens with the automatic coloring. And there you have it. Let's do high fidelity photo. Let's just see what we get. Yeah, about right there. So there it is. So there's our vector version, right? We'd probably replace all that text. Nonetheless, just showing you that in case you wanted it vector, but let's have some more fun with this, shall we? Let's make some more fun posters, right? We'll go to the second one. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Turn this stuff off. Turn this on. Maybe take some of this content. Let's start a new one. Poster number 2. We did the 1 already. Pasting that in. There that is. Let's make sure we orient this because this is going to be for, you know, for TikTok and all those. So let's do he's a 10. He's a 10, but what? Give me some other things that we could talk about. Let's just type up some. Let's just be creative. Has white out on his screen. Does that make sense? I don't know. Does it? Let's open this up. And thank you so much for joining me. Been going for about 10 minutes here. This is Internet Inspired. Let's decrease. There we go. Space that out a little bit more. So does that make sense? Maybe it's funny. Maybe it isn't. That's okay. We'll go back to our other mode of going to our artboard. Copy, paste. Make artboard number 2. Yeah, let's have fun with this. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Change this to, say, blue. You know, he's a 10, but what's something else? Hello, Ariane from Iran. He's a 10, but is also AI generated. This case, so let's just take a look at this. We could see that this is set to all caps. We want to turn that off, right? Because anytime we're going to be using sort of an acronym, it's going to be helpful if we're not using all caps. It's just easier to... he's a 10, but he's also AI generated. I think that's funny. And maybe it's he, maybe it's she, doesn't matter. She's a 10, but is also... But he can't manage, doesn't drink coffee. There we go. There we go. Oh, Vanessa. Vanessa says, Vanessa. Oh, man, that's a good one. Oh, man. Let's take this. Let's copy it. Let's paste it. Let's make another one. Yeah. So he's a 10. Oh, I love it. But has an sticker on his HP. And again, we still need to format all of this. Can't manage his files, doesn't drink coffee. I like it, right? I would seriously, I need to format a lot of this. Like we would need to sort of provide emphasis on certain lines over others. And even in this case, we could actually throw an apple or something that looks like a sticker. That's what would be great about this. If we made something look like a sticker, which would be awesome. So I'm really tempted to do that. But anyways, let's just actually separate out these. And let's make some more. So I've been copying artboards, by the way. Let's go in with our artboard tool. We'll just shift select all of these and then option shift drag, just like we do with graphics. You can click and drag artboards to duplicate them. Now I have all of these lovely artboards, and then I can start to change the colors and all that fun stuff. So maybe I'll do that just to make them all look different, right? We'll do that. We'll just go into some maybe a green, take this one, maybe it's yellow, and grab a different color for this one. You guys know I like pink. So these are the ones that we will do. Total of 6. Option Command 0, frame them all up. We'll figure out which ones we like the best too, right? And make sure we just kind of tweak the ones that rise to the top, if you will, right? He's a 10, she's a 10. Has too many final versions. So, and what I would do there is I would do the same thing that I did right here for this one. Even though I need to roll it back. There we go. Is I would do file, new folder, wait for it. In this new folder, we'll have a bunch of different files. So we'll copy this, we'll paste it in here. We will go view this by icons, and then right in here, this is where we would start to like make our graphic. It would be like, she's a 10, but ... right? And that's how I'd start to organize, like make that graphic, because I think that would be fun. I would also get rid of the AI. So there's one, here's another one. Doesn't organize our files. Can't manage. And let's do he, by the way. Everybody gets picked on today. And then again, this would just look like a total mess. So anyways, that's another design. We'll do our screenshot. Shabam, there we are. We're doing great. Has too many final versions into that as well. What other some interesting things? Like, I think for designers, a lot of times, he's a 10, but maybe only works in, 72 DPI, or only works in CMYK. Oh yeah. And for these, again, use that font. Let's make it kind of, I like 72 DPI. I'm open on this. Okay, Kadori, you have stickers on your HP, but hopefully you don't have an Apple sticker covering the HP logo. But here, we could do both of these, in fact. Why not? Take those, duplicate it. Okay, you want to see this. So we want to make this look like it's 72 DPI. So let's first off change the background because it's a little hard to see. We'll go and just change that really fast. And let's just see if we could do this. It's been a while since I've done this, but let's take this. You can have any vector graphic like I have here. You could take it and let's just make a duplicate just in case. And we need to make this look like it is 72 DPI. So we need to degrade it somehow. A couple of different ways we could do this. We could blur it. And then we could also rasterize it. Okay, so we could actually try that. Let's go to Effect, Blur, Gaussian Blur, right? We can give it this blurriness, right? But that's not quite what 72 DPI looks like. It needs to have that mosaic look. So we'll click OK. We'll go to Object. We will rasterize this. Rasterize. So we could even make this resolution screen DPI. So we're actually making this 72 DPI. Oh, geez. I did not mean for it to do that, though. That's very weird. So let's Object. Let's do an expand appearance. Let's just do... Oh, there we go. Here we go. Create object mosaic. You ready? So here, this mosaic will turn this into a bunch of tiles, which is actually what I want. So we'll just do, we'll do 20, we'll do actually 40 by 20, just to see what we get. We will make this color, we'll click OK, and yeah, we'll see what we get here. Okay, not quite what I wanted. Let's take this. I'm going to do this one more time, taking this background with it. We're going to include both of these in the same graphic. So let's get this down. Like so. I just want to show you this lovely mosaic trick, which is awesome. Okay. Let's group these together. And Yeah, maybe I got to expand. And rasterize. Sorry, this is taking a little while. There we go. Got it. I basically made this vector graphic a raster graphic. So there it is. Here's my raster graphic. Now we'll take this and we will do an object mosaic. I really wish it gave me, there we go. There we go. This is what I want. Bingo. 72 DPI. So we've made this object mosaic. We rasterized it and then converted it back to these vector dots. Oh, there we go. So that's a good one too. Victoria, that's great. He's a 10 but has no flat layers. Or he's a 10 but flattens his layers, right? So that's the idea. Cool. He's a 10 but only works in 72 DPI. And again, it depends on what line of work you're in. Let's do a CMYK version of it. And again, we're just having fun making posters. Let's take these. Oh, make it black. And sure enough, we'll jump in here. And you got it. It's fun to stay at the CMYK, right? Rather than dragging all these wherever, right? You can see off to the side, CMYK. We'll take this to 100. 0, 0, 0. There we are. There's our cayenne. That's exactly what we want, right? So we could do the rest for the... Same for the rest of these, right? Come in here, double click. 0, 100. You get the idea. Do you guys only work in CMYK? Anyone out there only work in CMYK? Because oftentimes you work in RGB and then you convert to CMYK and adjust the colors. Because you just have so much more color depth typically when you're working in RGB. Okay, last one. This is going to be black, of course. We just drag that down there. That should be just fine. He's a 10, but only works in CMYK. Any more fun jokes we have out there? Oh, here we go. You ready for this? Maybe you'll like this one. Let's make this black. I love this one, by the way. That's so good. He's a 10, but... only uses Comic Sans. There we go. Let's take this. And of course, change the font. Turn that off. And right in here, we can type in comic. Let's make it bold. There we go. This is just fun. We're just playing around today. I do a lot of work in RGB. Cyan. Cyan, is that how you say it, Sarah? I think I said cayenne, like it's a pepper. Cayenne, it's cyan. Thank you so much, Sarah. That's a big problem I have. But look at all this that we did. We had some fun here. We even have our other one. I like all of these. Does this one make sense? Kenneth, hey, what's up, buddy? Just stopping by to say hi. That's awesome. Let's see if I could tell Kenneth anything that he doesn't know. Nope. He knows everything. But a lot of these still need some formatting, but you can see we have technically 7 concepts, because I think this one is the best one right here, personally. Right here. So let's bring this one into the fold if we can. And let's move this off to the side and paste this right in here. Boom. I love this one right here. Boom. There we have it, folks. AI generated. I would play with this font some more as well, because all of these are just using I think of Acumen Variable Concept Font, which is great for starting out, right? Typically want to go with something like More Digital in this case, since we're talking about AI generated, right? Might be a monospace, oftentimes has this AI generated look, something like that. So that's probably what I would do. I would change this whole thing to, yeah, kind of being more of a black and white. She's a 10, but she's also not a real person. She's AI generated, or she's some avatar or something. So let's take this, go ahead, throw it off to the side, like so. And we could even make this font green to be something kind of more along the lines of, I don't know if it needs to be like matrix style, kind of like that. That's kind of the idea. As you can see. All right, Kenneth, awesome. Speaking about streaming and community development, good to hear. She's a 10, but is also AI generated. Boom. I don't think I'm going to be at that education summit. I assume it's all online, so I guess I will be there virtually, and so will everybody else. This one, I'd even make an Apple sticker or some sort of sticker. Like you could easily take like an ellipse. And this is the last thing I will do. Shift Command H will just get rid of all the artboards. Hey, we can go ahead and pretend like there's a red sticker. It's kind of like the idea of taking this. And what we could do is we could chop it. We could take this circle and we could chop it. There's like a number of ways we could do this. If I wanted to be exact, I should be able to take a line. It's been a while since I've done this. But here's a line that's just a different color. There you go. So you can see this line on top. We'll take both of those, and what we'll do is we'll click to intersect. So it's going to create a compound shape, but it's going to just basically chop those. Oh, those are not overlapping paths. We could fix that because we could take this. We could make this a create outlines, expand appearance. There we go. That's a shape. These are shapes. Selecting those two, we could subtract to minus the front from the back. Another way we could do this is we could use scissors or we could use the knife, right? So the knife will mean that you're not necessarily going to get a straight line is the only thing. But anyways, we got it. You guys get the idea. Ungroup this. And let's take this and flip it. Like so. It's nice that we can come in here and use the reflect tool to get that angle looking right like we do here, and we can still bend those lines and all that stuff. This one would actually be a little lighter, so bear with me as we kind of change this. Maybe this is something lighter and it's in front of everything else. And then we'd give it a drop shadow and all that fun stuff. Cool. You guys get the idea. We're just making a little bit of a sticker, as you can see. And then we duplicate this. Zoop. This one in the back would be dark. This one right here would be light. And of course, this one we would distort some more as well. Even just using this tool. Zoop. Bending that a little bit. We're just giving this a little bit of a shadow. Just a little bit, like so. And again, just being kind of quick and dirty with this. And now we have sort of something that looks like a sticker that we could put on this one here, this poster. Cool. You guys get the idea. Probably need to change the color and do all that stuff. Maybe try to grab the actual Apple logo. We won't worry about that now. I've gone for about 30 minutes, but let's just take this and put this behind this poster and we'll call it a day, like so, right? So thank you so much for hanging out with me, everyone. Appreciate you guys. Let's show everything. There we are. And again, just appreciate you guys hanging out with me. To recap, I need to remember that to expand, that makes paths into shapes. You're exactly right. Yes, exactly. Stony Braswell. The green reminds me of computers of the early 90s. So, yeah, I was doing Merit very much like sort of command line code is the idea. But that could use a ton of treatment, which would be fun to do. And just to recap, this is basically the theme, which is all about, he's a 10, but has whiteout on a screen. He's a 10, but can't organize his files or whatever. Just fun. He's a 10, but outlines his text. That's another one. So thank you so much for joining me. My name is Paul Trowdy. This was Internet Inspired. Just doing some fun takes, creative takes on the internet. Thank you so much for joining me. Appreciate you guys. Stick around for next week. Appreciate ya. And I'll post this also online as well. So thank you so much for watching.